Hello, welcome to a new video, and in this video it is my 10 villains who should return to Doctor Who. So in this video I'm going to be talking about the villains I think that should return after being in Classic Who. There aren't no modern Who ones here because most of the modern Who stuff remains the classic ones. Like, there will be a few odd mentions here, but between the Santorums and the Rutans kind of war. So enjoy this video. So in 10th place it is an Axon, the Axons. So in 10th place I have put the Axons. The Axons first appeared way back in 1971 in the episode The Claws of Axos. So Axos is an energy type thing that conspires everything is Axos, and they actually appeared way back in 1971 in The Claws of Axos, and this is Axos. These are Axons. I really think the Axons or Axon should basically return, since the third Doctor trapped them inside a time loop. Now with Gallifrey gone yet again I really think that with Gallifrey fully gone, the time distortion, well, the quantum time field the Doctor used to trap the entire whole lot of Axos inside a time loop should actually break, and I really think the Axons should basically return to the show. It would be such an amazing way to introduce them. The Axons should really return. It would be kind of a good sequel from The Claws of Axos. It'd be a good, brilliant opportunity to bring them back. As I said, they know the Doctor is a Time Lord. They could come back for revenge on the Doctor, which would be more of an interesting way and opportunity. So, number 10, Axons or Axos should return. So next in this video I have put the Irani in next place. Now the Irani should really return after appearing in two fantastic classic Doctor Who stories from season 22 and season 24. So the Irani is she's another Time Lord from the planet Gallifrey. Well, Time Lady / Time Lord, but she got exiled from Gallifrey after her experiment at the Lord President's cat at the time. So when we first introduced her, she was using a brain chemical to control the aggressive side of the human brain back in 1985 story, The Mark of the Irani. And this is the story where she teams up with the Master to try and the Doctor's got the Irani and the Master to deal with. And it's such a good story, that one is. So the next time she actually appears in the show, she makes the Doctor regenerate after banging his head against the TARDIS console, and making him regenerate into his next persona, which is the 7th Doctor. So the 7th Doctor then wakes up in the Irani's laboratory, and then this big massive bat creature called what's it called? I can't actually remember the creature's name, but it's like a bat head, and it's got 4 eyes, one at the front, 2 at the side, and then 1 at the back. There we go. That's it. That's the creature I'm on about, sorry. And the Doctor's knocked unconscious, and then she puts in like a little needle and makes him think he's got regeneration amnesia. So the Irani should basically return to the show at this point. We have had a load of series or seasons, like I call them seasons, continuing from Classic Who. So we're on season 28 at the moment, coming up to season 29. We have had the Master return a lot in New Who. We had him return in Utopia, Sounds of the Drums, and Last of the Time Lords, and then The End of Time Part 1 and 2. And then all through the Capaldi's run of the series with Series 8, or as I call it, Series 36. No, sorry. Series 34. 34, 35, 36, which is basically Series 8, 9 and 10. And then again in Series 38. With Spyfall. So I really think that Irani should actually return, give her a big massive spotlight, and the original actress who played Irani has unfortunately passed away, so they could actually make the Irani regenerate to cause more havoc for the Doctor to deal with. So next place, I have put a villain that hasn't been in the show since the 1960s, and it is the meddling monk. I really think the meddling monk should return to the series. So way back in 1965, the monk was revealed to be a Time Lord. Well, technically, the Time Lords wasn't actually invented in the show until 1969 in the 10th part of the War Games. So having someone from the Doctor's planet who had his own TARDIS, aka the monk, is actually a Time Lord. And the Doctor took something off the monk's TARDIS and it made him lost in the envious of time and space, like the Doctor. So I really think the monk should actually return, but again, have him regenerate into a new person and try and cause more havoc with the Doctor. But I would actually like to say this: I would like to see a story with the Irani and the monk team up. How's that one for sound? The Irani and the monk, would that work? Do you think it would work? Let me know in the comments if you think it would work. I think it should actually work. It'd be a good, interesting way and detail of this fantastic enemy against the Doctor. So the monk should actually return, as he only appeared in 2 classic Doctor Who stories, which is the Time Middler and of course the Daleks Master Plan. So come on BBC, bring the meddling monk back. So next up, I have put the Rutans. I really want the Rutans to return. The Rutans will last appear, well, they've actually only appeared in the show once, way back in season 15 in the Tom Baker era. And the story was actually called Horror of Fang Rock, with a Rutan crashing from a battlefield between the Santorums and the Rutans. Now, the Rutans were way mentioned way back in Doctor Who, in the Time Warrior, and I think it was actually mentioned in the Santorum experiment, with the Santorums being at war with the Rutans, and then it was last mentioned in the David Tennant era in the Poison Sky, where it goes, the war with the Rutans, they're going too well. But the war between the Santorums and the Rutans has been going on for 50,000 years. So I would like to see that the 13th Doctor ends up on a planet that the Rutans are on, trying to destroy to stop the Santorums and try to end the whole war between the Santorums and the Rutans. That will be quite an interesting ploy and a plot. I might actually do that for a figure adventure at some point, actually. But I really want to see the Rutans return, and the Santorums for that matter, which is another topic which is going to come up next. But at the moment, the Rutans, I really want the Rutans to return. I've been last seen in one story in season 15 in the Horror of Fang Rock. I think it's about time they had a whole. And the best thing is that with now modern age, Doctor Who has a bigger budget than it did way back in season 15, so we can have a whole new tech for the Rutans. The new CGI effects for the Rutans would be a lot better than it was in the Horror of Fang Rock. So yeah, Rutans next, please. So the Santorums. The Santorums really need return to the show. And not just that, let's have an epic 3-part story with them in, and show them the war between the Santorums and the Rutans. Let the Doctor get pulled into this massive interference, and that's of course interfering to try and help one race destroy the other. That will be an epic way of a classic Doctor Who story. The Santorums and the Rutans have been at war for 50,000 years, since last mentioned in the Poison Sky episode way back in series 30, or series 4 as you like to call it, but I call it season 13 30, season 30. I really think the Santorums should return to this and have an epic battle between them and the Rutans, and the Doctor's got to interfere to help one race destroy the other, but who will she pick? Will she pick the Rutans for help or the Santorums for help? Now that will be a basic way to kind of bring a whole new epic storyline, background story for the Santorums and the Rutans. Show off how the war started between the two, and it will be such an epic story. So please, BBC, make it happen. So next up, I have put the Black Guardian. Now the Black Guardian was introduced way back in season 16 in the actual whole story of the season, when the Doctor's got to look for the key to time to stop the Black Guardian from getting his hands on the key to time. And because the Doctor stops the Black Guardian returns 3 seasons later in season 20 to try and kill the Doctor for what the Doctor did to stop the Black Guardian from getting the key to time. And of course the Black Guardian was defeated by the Doctor and the White Guardian with Tegan and Tarlo. So let's have the Black Guardian return for revenge against the Doctor yet again, to try and put the Doctor out of existence. That would be a far interesting story. Have the return of the Black Guardian after being literally in 2 seasons of Doctor Who. He first came into the show in the Armageddon Factor Part 6 with trying to trick the Doctor to give him the key to time with Romana. And the Doctor goes, "You think I'm colourblind? Do you think I wouldn't notice between the White Guardian and the Black Guardian?" Which will be a far way and a lot better of a story. Please bring back the Black Guardian. So next up, I have put the Sea Devils. Now the Sea Devils were introduced in the show way back in season 9 and again in season 21 in 2 fantastic stories. One of them were a bit of a letdown because of the budget in this story, where the other one was absolutely a ton of amazement and set in a Navy base, in a Royal Navy base. So the Sea Devils were actually introduced in a Doctor Who story called, and you guessed it if you don't know it already, the Sea Devils. So the Sea Devils are cousins to the Santorians. And now we've had the Santorians returning to Who in series 5, or as I like to call it, series 31, in the 2-part story, Hungry Earth and Cold Blood. So I'd love to see the Sea Devils to make a return in a fantastic finale part series, or a middle part section of a series, and just to bring the Sea Devils back. The Sea Devils just really need to make a comeback after being in 2 classic stories, the same as the Black Guardian was in 2 seasons. But the Sea Devils were absolutely amazing, and they were brilliant in the Voyage to the Deep, but the story was let down by a few budgets and stuff. So 2 classic Doctor Who stories with the Sea Devils in. One's brilliant, one's kind of not, but the book is a lot better. The book actually tells you how it should have been, the episode should have been as it was broadcast. So the Sea Devils need to return, and have them team up with their cousins, the Santorians, in another battle against mankind, or as they call us, primitive apes. So let's have a fantastic return for the Sea Devils. I love, as they once said, "This is our planet." Come on, bring back the Santorians and the Sea Devils in a multi-pack story. With, again, if I could actually say this, I would actually like to see Jodie Whittaker's Doctor trying to find the plot, trying to make peace between the humans and the Sea Devils. That would be an absolutely amazing, because I think Jodie's Doctor could actually do it with her talk of peace all the time in the show. So yeah, bring back the Sea Devils. So next one, what have I got to say about this one? It's Sil. He's a creepy little alien who likes to experiment on human beings, like he did with Perry, turned into a bird. But Sil actually appeared in 2 fantastic Doctor Who stories, in my opinion, in The Ventures of Pharos in 1985 in season 22, and then again in Trial of a Time Lord in the story Mind Warp. And he was actually supposed to appear in the original season 23 story mission to Maglos. So it'd be kind of an introduction to bring Sil back. I think it would be well, the mission to Maglos. I really think they should turn the mission to Maglos into an episode for New Who. It was actually written for Colin Baker's Doctor, aka the Sixth Doctor, but I actually would like to say, if this story could be rewritten for the 13th Doctor and have her trying to stop Sil and the Ice Warriors, with the Ice Warriors turning against Sil, would actually be an amazing opportunity. And of course, the Doctor has regenerated several times since since she last encountered Sil. So it'd be a kind of a good way to bring back Sil, especially with the little creepy mouth going with the laugh. So it kind of be a good way to bring Sil back. And of course, the Doctor will recognise Sil, but Sil won't recognise the Doctor because she's regenerated quite a lot. So yeah, bring Sil back. And of course, the Ice Warriors, big mission to Maglos, a full story for New Who. Just get rid of a bit of it, like the Time Lord bit, like with the Time Lord spy, but bring Sil and the Ice Warriors together, make it a whole new episode of Diametic, turn it from book into an episode. It was turned into a story with Big Finish, but I'd actually like to see it be turned into a TV episode. So, next on the list, if you've not guessed it, if you think it's gonna be, you might have to wait until later on in this video. But I actually think Rassilon should return to the show. Now, Rassilon's appeared twice in New Who and once in Old Who. Well, an old classic Who, he appeared in the 5 Doctors, and then it was resurrected by the Time Lords for the Time War. And then when the Doctor returned to Gallifrey in his 12th incarnation and kicked Omega off the planet, Rassilon kicked Rassilon off the planet. I really would like to see Rassilon to come back for the Doctor to get his revenge on the Doctor. As after all, Rassilon lost everything. He lost respect of the Time Lords, he lost respect of absolutely everything, and he lost control, he even lost his presidency. So Rassilon, I really think Rassilon should actually come back to try and fight the Doctor. Like I said with the Medley-Monk and the Irani, make Rassilon try and connect up the few Time Lords that still could be out there. Because we don't really know what happened to the Monk, we don't know what happened to the Irani. And of course, we could even have the return of one of my favourite Time Lords that it will be on this list, as you can tell, if you think who it is. But I really think Rassilon should make a return and make a team up between the Irani and the Monk and try and make a new Gallifrey out with them three. Of course, we got the Master out there. Now, the Master did destroy Gallifrey, so I would like to see Rassilon try and get revenge on the Doctor, and the Doctor tells him what the Master did to the Time Lords and how the Doctor wasn't there to save them from the Master's rampage. That would be kind of an interesting story, to have the Master and have the Doctor, Rassilon, the Master again in the Fantastic Battle like it was in the End of Time. But with the Rassilon and the Doctor teaming up with the Irani and the Monk, trying to capture the Master and have him punished for what he did to Gallifrey and then again with that storyline we can have the return of the Cyber Lords, or whatever they were called, Cyber Masters, Time Lords, Simon with the regeneration energy from dead Time Lords. What more do you need from a good epic story? So Rassilon needs to return. And of course, the main one person I really think who needs to return to Doctor Who is Omega, the Time Lord responsible for time travel, for the Eye of Harmony, and of course having the Time Lords have TARDISes. Which more do you need? Bring back Omega. Omega was a Time Lord until he discovered the way to have time travel, and the experiment involved him going into a universe of antimatter. Because if you remember what the third Doctor says, antimatter and not antimatter should not meet, because it would make a combustive explosion. But Omega got trapped in a whole universe of antimatter, and he created a whole planet and a world by using his will. And then again, that was way back in season 10, and then in season 20, Omega then returns using the Doctor's biological code sort of thing to try and... He ends up looking like the 5th Doctor, basically, in this story, but he ends up being killed by the 5th Doctor. Or did he? Did the 5th Doctor actually kill him, or did or did a part of Omega survive and went back to be reformed back in the world of antimatter? How much wouldn't that be a good story? Omega out there having a good howling of a time trying to think of a plan. The Time Lords never resurrected Omega, I don't think, in the Time War. It was never said. What if Omega is still trapped in the world of antimatter since the 5th Doctor battled with him? And of course, like I said with Rassilon, if Rassilon, the Irani and the monk were teaming up with the Doctor to try and capture the Master for his crimes, why can't I not just bring back Omega and have Omega coming back through a secret portal and the Master going, I need Omega back? Omega would be such a fantastic villain to return into the show. He's such an iconic villain for me, in my opportunity, because I first watched Omega in the 3 Doctors. I adored the 3 Doctors. It's absolutely amazing. Omega is brilliant in that story. Not as good as it is in Arc of Infinity. The 3 Doctors is the best Omega story if you ever want to watch Omega, or if you ever want to watch Omega story, go for the 3 Doctors. Arc of Infinity, no, don't go for Arc of Infinity. So this is a whole end to the video now. So the villains I think that should actually return: Axons, the Irani, the Black Guardians, Sil, Santorum's, Rutans, as every single one I've mentioned on this list, and a few good team up ideas with Rassilon, the meddling monk, the Irani, and the Doctor trying to capture the Master for destroying Gallifrey. Wow, what more do you need? What more do you need? That will be an absolutely amazing story. So if you do like this video, please like, subscribe and share my YouTube video, and I hope you all have a good day tomorrow, as it is currently, I think it's about 7:30. So anyway, thank you for watching this video. Have a good time, and I'll see you again soon in another video.